You may know Abraham Lincoln as the 16th President of the United States, but did you know that he was born in a one-room log cabin in Kentucky? Yes, the story of Abraham Lincoln, a man who would go on to shape the destiny of a nation, begins in the humblest of circumstances. Born on February 12, 1809, in a log cabin in Hardin County, Kentucky, Lincoln was the second child of Thomas and Nancy Lincoln. When Abraham was just 7 years old, his family moved to Indiana, where they lived on public land to scrape out a living in a crude shelter, clearing the land by axe and plow. Abraham's father was a hard man, and life was tough. Yet it was here that Lincoln first developed his love for learning. Despite having no formal education, Lincoln was a voracious reader, borrowing books from neighbors and walking miles just to get his hands on a new one. He would read and reread them, using the light from the fireplace when the sun set. His thirst for knowledge was insatiable. In his late teens, the Lincoln family moved once again, this time to Illinois. Here, Lincoln's work ethic really began to shine. He worked as a flatboatman, ferrying goods down the Mississippi River to New Orleans. He also worked as a storekeeper, postmaster, and even a surveyor. These experiences not only shaped his understanding of labor and trade, but also exposed him to a variety of people and their differing perspectives. His early life was not one of privilege or ease, but of hard work, self-education, and determination. These foundational years would serve him well, imbuing him with the grit, wit, and empathy that would define his leadership. From his humble beginnings, Lincoln's early life shaped the man he would become. A man of the people, for the people. A man who, despite his lack of formal education, would lead a nation through its most divisive and bloody war. A man who would leave an indelible mark on the fabric of American history. This was Abraham Lincoln, a true testament to the power of perseverance and self-belief. In 1861, Lincoln assumed office at a time when the nation was on the brink of civil war. The United States had become a house divided, with the northern and southern states in stark disagreement over the issue of slavery. Yet, amidst this tumultuous backdrop, Lincoln's leadership shone through. His main goal was clear: preserving the Union. Despite the secession of several southern states, Lincoln remained steadfast, refusing to acknowledge their departure. His belief in the indissolubility of the Union was unwavering, and he was prepared to use military force to ensure its survival. As the war waged on, Lincoln's leadership evolved. The Civil War was not just a political and military struggle, but a moral one too. Recognizing this, Lincoln made a bold move. In 1862, he issued the preliminary Emancipation Proclamation, declaring that all enslaved people in Confederate-held territory would be set free if the Confederacy did not end its rebellion by the start of 1863. This was not just a strategic move to weaken the Confederacy, but a moral stance against the institution of slavery. The final Emancipation Proclamation, issued on January 1, 1863, changed the nature of the Civil War and the course of American history. The war was no longer just about preserving the Union, but also about ending slavery. Lincoln was not without his critics. Some believed his actions were too radical, others thought they weren't radical enough. Yet in the face of adversity, Lincoln displayed extraordinary resilience and determination. He stood by his decisions, unswayed by the shifting winds of public opinion. Through his resolute leadership, Lincoln steered the nation through its greatest crisis. His unwavering commitment to the Union, coupled with his bold stance against slavery, defined his presidency and left an indelible mark on American history. Lincoln's leadership during the Civil War demonstrated his belief in the ideals of freedom and equality, ideals that continue to shape the United States to this day. In November 1863, Lincoln delivered a speech that would echo through history. Standing on the hallowed ground of the Gettysburg battlefield, where blood of Union and Confederate soldiers was freshly spilled, Lincoln began his Gettysburg Address. He reminded the listeners that the nation was conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. This speech was not just a eulogy for the fallen, but a call to action and a reminder of the nation's founding principles. Lincoln urged his fellow countrymen to resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain. He envisioned a new birth of freedom and a government of the people, by the people, for the people, that shall not perish from the earth. The Gettysburg Address, though brief, is a profound and persuasive piece of oratory that continues to inspire and shape our understanding of American identity. In just over 2 minutes, Lincoln's Gettysburg Address defined the nation's purpose and path forward. In a tragic turn of events, Lincoln's life was cut short by an assassin's bullet. No recounting of Lincoln's life would be complete without the heartbreaking tale of his untimely end. It was April 14, 1865, just 5 days after the Confederate General Robert E. Lee surrendered, effectively ending the Civil War. Lincoln was attending a play at Ford's Theater in Washington, D.C., when John Wilkes Booth, a Confederate sympathizer and accomplished actor, snuck into the president's box and shot him in the back of the head. Despite immediate medical attention, Lincoln's wound was fatal. He passed away the next morning, becoming the first American president to be assassinated. The nation plunged into mourning, and Booth was hunted down and killed in a Virginia barn 12 days later. The assassination of Abraham Lincoln, the man who had led the nation through its bloodiest conflict and had abolished slavery, sent shockwaves through a country on the brink of peace. Lincoln's death marked a dark day in American history. Despite his untimely death, Lincoln's legacy lives on. His enduring mark on history is imprinted with the ink of emancipation and the chisel of change. He wielded his presidency like a sculptor's tool, carving a path toward freedom and equality in a nation divided. A key facet of his legacy is his role in ending slavery. With a stroke of his pen, Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation, an executive order that transformed the Civil War into a fight for human freedom. But he didn't stop there. He pushed tirelessly for the 13th Amendment, which abolished slavery once and for all, cementing his place in history as the great emancipator. Beyond his strides in abolition, Lincoln's impact on civil rights is profound. His belief in the inherent equality of all people laid the groundwork for the civil rights movement and the pursuit of social justice that continues to this day. When we examine Lincoln's leadership style, we find a man of incredible resilience and humility. His ability to listen, to empathize, and to lead with a clear vision in the face of adversity was unparalleled. He was a master at building consensus and was known for his political acumen, which helped him navigate the turbulent waters of his presidency. Lincoln's influence on the Republican Party was transformative. He helped shape the party's platform, steering it toward the principles of liberty, union, and equal rights. His impact continues to resonate in the party's ethos. In the realm of economic and infrastructure development, Lincoln's contributions were pivotal. He championed the Pacific Railway Act, which led to the construction of the Transcontinental Railroad, and the Homestead Act, which opened up millions of acres for settlement. These initiatives helped drive America's growth into a modern, industrialized nation. From his humble beginnings to his enduring legacy, Abraham Lincoln's life and leadership continue to shape the United States. His spirit of resilience, his unwavering commitment to equality, and his visionary leadership are a testament to the power of the individual to effect profound change. His legacy is a beacon that continues to guide us, reminding us of what we can achieve when we strive for a more perfect union. From the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. to the Lincoln Home in Springfield, Illinois, tributes to Lincoln can be found across the country and around the world. These monuments and memorials are not just mere structures of stone and metal, but they are the embodiment of the reverence and respect that we hold for the 16th President of the United States, Abraham Lincoln. They serve as a constant reminder of his contributions and sacrifices for the unity and freedom of the nation. The Lincoln Memorial, with its grand marble statue of a seated Lincoln, is possibly the most iconic tribute to this revered leader. Located in the heart of Washington, D.C., it's a place of contemplation and admiration, where visitors from around the globe come to pay their respects. On the other side of the country, in Springfield, Illinois, you'll find the Lincoln Home National Historic Site. This is the house where Lincoln lived before he became president. Preserved meticulously, it provides an intimate glimpse into the personal life of the man behind the presidency. In Kentucky, the birthplace of Lincoln, stands the Abraham Lincoln Birthplace National Historical Park, a symbolic reminder of his humble beginnings. It houses a replica of the log cabin where Lincoln was born, symbolizing his rise from a simple log cabin to the White House. Across the Atlantic, you'll find the statue of Lincoln in Parliament Square, London. This statue, a gift from the American people, stands as a testament to Lincoln's global influence and the universal values he championed. Not to forget, the numerous schools, streets, and parks named after Lincoln spread across the United States, and even in several other countries. These everyday reminders of Lincoln are perhaps the most powerful, as they weave his memory into the fabric of our daily lives. These memorials stand as lasting tributes to Lincoln's enduring legacy and his contributions to American history.